Okay, sorry, it took me a second there. Hey, Barry, how you doing, man?
I'm good, Bob. How are you? Good to see all you guys and
Yeah.
gals.
Um, hey, Blayne Toll, I guess, I don't know if he was ever actually at tight end because I guess he didn't get to work there, but he's back at DN now. I know you just had walkthroughs. How's he looked and how do you feel about him at DN?
No, it speaks volumes of really the type of person and really character and care for Arkansas on what Blayne has done. He said, when Coach approached him about moving over to help us out at tight end, he said, I'll do whatever I can for this team and this program, which is awesome. You don't find that much, especially with freshmen. And he did it, and he went and dove in and was doing a great job on that side of the ball from everything that I'd heard. But then, um, you know, looked like he could really have a chance to go in and help us in some situations on the defensive side. They got some things cleared up offensively and allowed that to happen. And he's done in what we've been able to see, a tremendous job. He's got a great motor. I think he's got a huge upside on what he's going to become as a player, but also he's hungry to be really good. And he's right now, and again, we've been in walkthroughs, but he's picked up what we're trying to do schematically, and he's doing it really at a high speed. He's got a lot of skills, just natural skills. And since he's been here in January, has done a great job with Jamil and his staff in the weight room.
Thanks, Barry.
Nikki?
Coach, could you talk a little bit about Joe Fouché and where you see him best contributing? I know he hasn't obviously gotten to practice, but where do you see him being the best fit?
Joe has got a unique skill set because he's got tremendous speed and he's quick, but also, he was, I think he played quite a bit last year. So he's got a little bit of experience, but also look at the things that you can do with Joe in coverage. You can move him down and put him in maybe the run fit in the box, so to speak, because he's multiple enough and has enough skill set to him in the pass game and run game that you can line him up in a lot of different spots. So we've got to continue to work to make sure, that he's going into, practice number one, really to see how they fit in everything that we're trying to do on the field against, at some point we're going to get a ball in the air and be able to see how we go work, pass defense and some of those things. But Joe's got, for a young player, he's got some football savvy to him. Football IQ is high, and he's done a really good job of picking up what I'm asking him to do at that spot.
Thank you.
Tricia.
Hey, Coach. Coach Pittman has said that if for an unfortunate incident he gets COVID, that you would be the acting head coach for a certain game. How would that change your mindset going into a game, obviously with your defensive responsibilities, but then would you just let Kendall have the complete reins on offense as well, or would you kind of be back and forth with both?
Well, it's a good question, Trey. Number one, Coach Pittman's not going to get it. He's not going. I can tell he's not going to get it. So, but also credit to him on the things that he's done organizationally on planning and putting us and moving our program forward every step of the way. He's done a heck of a job. And, I'm fortunate that we have the staff that we do, because I think, knock on wood, that's not going to happen. But if something like that were to happen, the staff is so great. We wouldn't, I would be able to continue to do the things we needed to on defense. And then obviously Kendall and I would spend a lot of time on going into that game on the management of what that looked like. And, you've got a plan for everything. I understand that, and Sam's done it. But I don't know that it would change that much. I am fortunate that I've got the experience, in-game experience of sitting in that chair for the last 4 years. So I think we'd be able to manage, and, it wouldn't happen without the staff that we have here in place for sure.
Trey Biddy.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
What's up, Trey? I'm good, man.
So Monday, at some point, you're going to have to put a starting 11 defense out there for the first day. And I know you got a lot to iron out, what kind of structure you're going to do. But when you do that, what is it going to be? Is it a 4-2-5? Is it a 3-4? What does it look like?
Yeah, I think if you just look back more than anything at my history, specifically when I was a coordinator, I've been very multiple every place that I've been and every year, and that won't change this year. But we've already got the scripts done for Monday, at least defensively, and we'll have a 4-down look. But within that first series, we'll be able to get into a number of different looks with those guys. So it'll be interchanging. I think we've got a number of pieces. We got so many competitive battles going on across the board. And I think a lot of that, Trey, will end up really dictating what we call our base defense. But right now, from an even to an odd front, you'd like to be able to do both of those with what we're seeing offensively, trying to match personnel, down and distance, field position. There's a lot of different ways that we can get to the structure, both with an odd and even front, and more than anything, trying to be multiple and staying ahead of what we're getting on the other side.
Thanks, Coach.
Hutch?
Yeah, Coach. Last week, Coach Pittman was talking about how the defensive line was maybe a little bit better than what he had expected. What have you seen from that group, and is it you kind of have that same feeling that they're maybe a little bit further ahead than what you thought they'd be?
I'm excited about defensively. I'm excited about the way that they've handled from January until today, and there's been a lot of ups and downs. There's been some uncertainty at times, but not for the team. They've been laser-like focused. They've kept blinders on, and they've really just done everything that we've asked them to do. But that group specifically, you look at some of the weight gains that we've had, some of the strength gains that we've had in the weight room. I can't give enough credit to Jamil Walker and his staff in the weight room on really transforming some of those guys, especially up front, because it was a group that we didn't know a lot about a lot of the position groups. But I did think when we walked into the door watching us early in January and February, I thought we had some speed on defense. I didn't know about up front how we'd be able to hold up this because of physically where we were at that time. But man, they've made a lot of ground up, and we still got a long ways to go. But I would echo the same thing that Coach said. It's a group that has surprised me in a good way. Now we also I want to caution that we've got plenty of work to do, but they've done a really nice job here the last couple months on trying to get SEC ready.
Thanks, Coach.
Tom?
Hey, Barry. I'm wondering, for the next couple of weeks, just the questions you want to see start being answered on your side of the ball, and then also how things are going to look differently when you start picking up speed and putting pads on.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen our guys in pads, so there's a lot of question marks there on what that'll look like, how we react. What are we going to do when we give up? It's hard to sit here and say it, but we're going to give up a touchdown sometime next week would be my guess. How are we going to react to that? What's our mental focus and being able to put that play behind us and go play the next snap? What's that look like? It's time. We've done a lot of talking, and they put in a lot of work, but let's go put it into action and kind of see how we respond, see how well we can play together and communicate. And really the elementary focus of playing good defensive football. You want to try to get the ball back, eliminate explosive plays. You want to be really good a tackling team, which we're not going to be tackling here this first week, obviously, but also the physicality that it takes in this league is a different standard. So, we'll be able to see some of that early on, and I look forward to that.
Thank you.
Russell?
Coach, I wanted to get your thoughts on the job that Coach Pittman has done handling everything that's been thrown at him this year, in year one as a head coach on this level.
I can't really put it into words how impressed I've been with it. He is, number one, he's created belief in our program. And it's just the way that he is as a person. There's not anybody that's going to outwork him. The decisions he's making for the entire organization, it's for us to continue to move forward. I felt similar ways on some of these things when I became a head coach. they don't give you a manual on, hey, turn to page 7. This is how you handle the COVID. And he's done a heck of a job. And he's got a lot of really good people around him. But, leave no question, we walk into the staff room, he's got a clear plan on what he wants, how he wants it, and he's been able to put it into play. So I think above everything else, it's the things that I've known about Sam for 20 years, you see come out in him being a head coach. And he's passionate. He's got great energy. He cares about the kids. And he's so deeply caring and energetic and passionate about the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, we got time for 2 more. Terry Wood.
Hi, Coach Odom. In the last couple of years, consistency in play on the defensive side of the football has been an issue. How do you coach a team to play consistently and give that effort that's needed down after down?
It comes down to great preparation and the habits, and you've got to make sure that throughout the week, the game is typically, there's a lot of deciding going on in the game on how you prepare Sunday through the time the ball's kicked off. And, if you have poor habits and if you don't prepare the right way, you're not absolutely on point in every area, it's going to get exposed really quickly. And so more than anything, our habits, our film study, the preparation that we have throughout the week, that will give us an opportunity to line up and go play. And then the understanding, I've got to make it simple enough for our team and be a good enough teacher along with the defensive staff that we put our guys in position that they can go play fast. And they have an understanding on where they have help, where they don't, when they can take their shots, when they can't. But collectively playing 11 guys, playing with great speed, energy, passion, effort, getting to the ball, trying to eliminate explosive plays, I was talking about, and finding ways to get the ball back for our offense. I mean, those are things that we've got to continue to focus on and build on, and also the understanding of the mental toughness that it takes throughout the course of a 4-quarter game to withstand, because the other team's got good players and they're gonna make some plays. I'm going to make some bad calls, and our guys have got to make me right. But it's the trust in each other, but also knowing that happens throughout the week, and it's been building since January for us. It's got to continue.
Mike Irwin, you're the last one for Coach Odom.
Coach Odom, Coach Pittman in a previous Zoom had going on right now, fewer scrimmages, but he said, we've got guys that know how to teach tackling through drills. Could you explain that a little bit and what your plan would be to make sure everybody can tackle if you don't actually have as much scrimmaging?
Yeah, there's a number of ways. The best way to continue to become a better tackling team is to understand you can play fast. That's understanding of the defense, but also the point of I don't know when the last time you see just a true, pure, how you teach a form tackle. Most of the tackles happen with you're playing your leverage point, you're using the angles correctly, you're pressing the line of scrimmage, you've got 2 guys that are vicing the ball. So everything that we try to do in our individual drills, whether it's form tackling 101, whether it's pass coverage, whether it's rushing the passer, everything that we're trying to structure in our individual drills should look exactly like what our guys at that position would do on game day, and then get them drilled so much that it's repetition and it becomes monotonous. But then that's when you start making up positive ground, is when you go out and the habits just become so natural that's how you play. That's the DNA of your defense. Tackling is obviously something to anyone that watches a game. You can say, well, they're a good tackling team or they're not. I mean, it doesn't take a lot of football experience to notice that. I know that the greatest teams that I've been on as far as playing team defense have been really good tackling teams. And we've got to make sure that we're smart with how we do that, like Coach is talking about. Also, I want to make sure that we get our best guys to the first game. And so you got to be smart in how you practice. But we've got a group of guys defensively on the staff that we feel like we've got a good idea on how we need to approach that. And we haven't been in pads, so it'll be interesting, like I was saying earlier, how we withstand some of the physical nature of what it takes. But again, we've got to be great teachers, whether it's on how to tackle, whether it's how to run the zone blitz, whether it's how to play Tampa 2. We've got to do a great job on teaching our kids how to play and how to play fast.